Hi, this is Micornus, the leader and the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum. We are continuing with speaking about compassionate leader. We speak about the traits of compassionate leader. And today I want to speak about humility as part of a compassionate leader. And I want to emphasize the issue of humility. And humility, it may be described as being low and down to earth, ability to actually put yourself down and listen to others and be look up at others, even those that may be looking at themselves down to you. Now, this is despite of your education level. It's despite of your leadership position that you occupy. It is despite of how senior you are, wherever you are. But we're speaking about humility. And that is actually a trait of compassionate leaders. Because compassionate leaders are able to actually strip themselves of their power, strip themselves of their positions, strip themselves off of the platform of authority, and as a result, submit themselves into a lower level of listening to somebody who might actually be junior in position to them. And that's humility. And humility is not an easy trait, but to compassionate leaders, it is something that is very necessary. And I want to emphasize that as a young man, this is the spirit that you have to adopt to become a compassionate leader, what we call humility. Now, humility is a virtue attributed to those who have developed awareness of their own limitations and weaknesses. Now, these are the people that know that as much as I may be senior, as much as I may be a manager at a particular position, I may be a leader in this regard, but I've got my own flaws. I've got my own limitations and weaknesses. Now, when somebody has actually fully realized that, and they are able to know that they are not perfect in life, so therefore the standards that they set, they will set high standards for themselves and for everyone. But however, they will be forgiving if people may not reach those standards and not become judgmental in nature. Because remember that when you are actually proud, you are actually thinking that you're better than everybody. And that is why those leaders that are not compassionate in nature, they would forever think that they are best thing that has ever happened. They think that they're the most intelligent people amongst the pack. They will think that they're the most senior amongst all people. They're the most popular people and famous people more than everybody else. They're the powerful people. And that is why when you find people that are proud, because they feel egoistic in nature, they are feeling that they are better than everybody. Now, because of that, they are not aware of their own weaknesses and their own limitations. And therefore, they feel that they are the perfect human beings, the angels of the day, whereby everybody else is filthy except them. Now, in this regard, that's the pride that we're speaking about. But compassionate leaders are able to be aware and fully aware of their own limitations. And they don't hide their limitations, they expose them, but they are able also to make sure that they are actually, while they expose their own limitations, but they're actually exposing the fact that they are growing and learning. They expose the fact that they can learn from everybody else. And that's compassionate leaders. Because compassionate leaders are anticipatory in nature. They anticipate learning from everyone, whether it's the junior in rank, the people that they're dealing with, whether it's somebody that is not actually on authority level, but they will be able to submit themselves and be able to say, I don't know, if they don't know. Because sometimes I don't know is a good answer. And I must emphasize that compassionate leaders are able to say, I don't know, so that they can learn from even subordinates. They can learn even from their own juniors. And that is when you know that you are not perfect. You've got your own flaws, you've got your own limitations, and you've got your own weaknesses. Now, people that are humble, which are the compassionate leaders, they're not actually just acknowledging their limitations. They are working on their limitations. They put action plans and work on their limitations. And that is the reason what I said earlier, that they are able to expose their limitations, but yet show an action of saying, I'm correcting this limitation. I'm improving and I'm becoming better. And therefore, they are being forgiving to themselves and also forgiving to their subordinates, because they would know that there's no one who's perfect. And they would know also that they've got weaknesses as well. They've got their own limitations. And they put action plans in place to say, this is what I'm going to do to improve my situations. Now, you'll realize that compassionate leaders, because of the humility spirit, they're able to apologize. They're able to say, I'm sorry. Now, we are living in a generation that's not able to apologize. A generation that will never say, I'm sorry. The generation that's never able to say thank you. Those are the most difficult words in the generation of today. But compassionate leaders are able to say thank you when they know that you have contributed a lot in what they are doing, contributed a lot in the project of the day, contributed a lot in the vision that we are pursuing right now. They will appreciate you. And every step of the way, we talk about compassionate leaders. They are able actually to compliment where compliment is due. And there are times when compliment is actually due to you, not to them. And they will be able to acknowledge the fact that this is not my work. It's the work of my subordinates. And therefore, they will acknowledge that. I'm speaking about compassionate leaders here. Now, as a young man, therefore, it's very important that you develop into being a compassionate leader, where you don't take credit where credit is not due to you. You give credit where credit is due. And that's the spirit of humility. You are humble. You are able to acknowledge where it is not your work, it's somebody's work. Now, that's humility. You know that you are limited yourself. You don't know everything. You don't know everybody. You don't know everywhere. Because it's impossible to know everywhere. It's impossible to know everybody. It's impossible to know everything. But compassionate leaders are quite aware of this fact that they cannot know everything. And they are not perfect, as I said. They're not angels. So therefore, they will acknowledge their mistakes, and therefore they will put corrective actions upon their mistakes. They will give credit where credit is due, and they will actually pat people on the shoulder, those that have done well, and compliment them. And they're able to reward the results, actually, of hard work for those that are working hard amongst their subordinates. That is part of compassionate leader. And compassionate leaders are humble in nature, and that's the reason they do so. They act accordingly, and they're able also to be fair in everything that they do. And they're just in their action. And as I said earlier, they're not judgmental in nature. They actually look at the facts, and therefore judge the facts, not the individual. I want to end up here today. Your host, Micornus, Phokane, the leader, the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum. I hope that you are learning quite a bit out of this. We will continue with this topic, and I will speak about another trait of a compassionate leader going forward. Please join us on our social media platforms, Micornus, Phokane, and also Young Men Empowerment Forum. So please click likes on those Facebook pages. But don't forget to click notification buttons as well. We have got a YouTube channel, Young Men Empowerment Forum. So may you please subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. And make sure that you click notification button so that you may be notified when we've posted material of this kind. Remember, a lot of materials posted already. Don't forget, follow us on our YouTube channel. Make sure that you get those videos that we've posted in the past. May the good Lord bless you, and allow me to check out right here and say cheers for now.